Hi, it's Paul, and in the next few minutes I'm going to introduce you to my six-step communication process. I'm going to tell you why communication fails a lot of times and exactly what to do about it. So let's get started. First of all, the communication begins with a message, and the message is what's in your brain that you want to get to somebody else. Now think about it. Sometimes we're not even sure about exactly what we want to say. We don't even know ourselves exactly how the message should go, so how are we going to get it to other people? So step number one is formulating the message in your brain, but sometimes things go wrong there. The next step is to encode that message in something that can be transmitted to somebody else. Now, an example of encoding might be words that you write down, it might be words that you speak, it might be a picture that you draw, it might be music, it could be graffiti, it could be facial expressions, it could be any number of ways of encoding that message. But things go wrong there because we've got this message, but we don't always get it encoded right. Now the third step is to send it to somebody, and that has to be transmitted to them in a way that they can receive it. And so we might use email, we might use voice messages, we might once again transmit via voice tones or facial expressions or body language, any number of ways we're going to transmit. But things can go wrong during the transmission. Then the fourth step is for them to decode it. And so they get this message, or what is left of the message by the time they get it, and they have to decide what it means. They have to take these words and decode them into something that they can interpret and understand. So the last step is for them to understand. Now think about this. We've got 5 steps. In any step, something can go wrong, where it doesn't come through to the next step the way it started at the beginning of the step. If you've ever been in a room where you passed a message around a circle, by the time it gets to the 5th person, it barely resembles what you started with. Well, a lot of times our personal communication be just like that. So here's what we have to do. We have to use this last step, which I call the feedback loop, where we check our understanding of the message that was received. Now, a lot of times this is done through paraphrasing or empathetic listening, and we don't have time to teach that in this short video, but it's the way that we're going to verify that we understood what somebody else meant. And that closes the loop and makes sure that any errors that crept into the process are recognized and dealt with. On the other side of that coin, if you're the person who's doing the sending, the transmitting, and you're not sure that the other person received it properly, check with them. A lot of times with email, we skip this step. We just send it out and think that they got it the way we intended it, and we know from experience that it doesn't always work that way. So let's make sure we always complete the communication process with the feedback loop. So there you have it, the 6 steps of communication and the communication process, what happens, why things go wrong, and what to do about it. I look forward to seeing you at MaximumAdvantage.com or in one of my live events.